DVAR halacha, and here's a brand new halacha for you. It's for Thursday, 5th day of November. Here we go. Now some kashrus things in and around the house. Here goes. A barbecue. Now most often a barbecue, is used for meat, and you grilled some hamburgers on it and steaks, etc. The question is, can you switch around and use that same grid on top of the barbecue for things like dairy meals or even for just fish? So strictly speaking, the halacha is it's best if you have that barbecue be used for meat only, and do not grill fish on the meat only grill of the barbecue. Even if you say that you're going to clean it all, and get all the meat out of it, the thing is it's very hard to clean, so there's probably always going to be some remnants of meat, and we don't like meat to mix with certainly with our dairy meals and also with our fish meals, and therefore you should use your grill only for meat. You can have a separate barbecue for dairy or for fish, but you can't be grilling meat on a barbecue and also fish on that same barbecue and dairy on that same barbecue. If you wanted to have that one barbecue and you would say, well, this is the grill top that I'll put on it when I'm doing meat, and then I'll swap it out and use a different one when I'm doing dairy, that you should speak to a Rav about that, because depending on what kind of grill it is, that in itself could be problematic. Now let's get to bread. Just when you have a loaf of bread, let's say that you used at your Shabbos meal, when slices of it are left over and you want to use those slices at a dairy meal, let's say at challah or Saturday night or at the next day, the problem is that because those slices were handled during a meat meal, some remnant of meat could be absorbed into the bread, and then it's not appropriate to be eating those slices of bread at a dairy meal. So in general, the rule is slices of challah that have come off and been on the table during a meat meal should not be then used at a dairy meal. If sometimes people will take the leftover challah and make challah kugel out of it. Maybe you're not all familiar with that, but it is a thing that some people do. So if that was leftover slices of challah from a meat meal and you want to then make challah kugel and eat it at a dairy meal, that similarly would be problematic, so don't do that. Generally, the rule that I'm saying now about the slices of challah not being, from a meat meal not being eaten at a dairy meal, that really is only true of the slices of challah. But the actual unsliced part of the challah, that's usually safe because that didn't get handled too much during the meat part of the meal. I know that the person who said hamotzi had his hands on it, but that was before he was involved in meat. So generally the unsliced part of the challah, let's say from Shabbos lunch, which was meat, could be sliced later at a dairy meal and eaten with a dairy meal. If you know that kids during that meal with meaty hands were touching the challah, even the unsliced part of the challah, then yeah, then you do have a problem, and you're going to have to treat that challah as fleishiks. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.